Welcome to Homeschooling and Life Unfiltered with Court and Jess, where real talk meets real life. Court and Jess are two friends, fellow moms, and business partners who live in different time zones and juggle homeschooling alongside motherhood and entrepreneurship. Jess is a mom of 8 and Court is a mom of 7, and together they're raising 15 kids and navigating the wild, wonderful world of homeschooling, each in completely different ways. Every week, we invite you to pull up a chair for honest conversations, practical tips, and uplifting encouragement. You'll hear from moms across the country who are homeschooling in a way that works best for their families. Whether you're a veteran homeschool mom just getting started or somewhere in between, this is your space to feel seen, supported, and inspired. Because no matter how different our paths may look, we are all in this together. Hello, welcome to Homeschooling and Life Unfiltered with Court and Jess. We are talking summer. We are in the throes of summer, maybe just starting summer. I think this is my first week that I've been home for summer. I've been traveling quite a bit recently. So we're just gonna talk about summer schedules. Do you homeschool? Do you not homeschool? What do you do? What do we do? Everybody does something different. That's why I love it. I actually love listening to other people's ideas because I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And then my kids are like, oh, who did you talk to, Mom? What are you adding now? So hopefully your kids will do the same thing. You're going to come up with lots of ideas. All right. Do you want to go first? What do you do, Jess, in the summer?
So I actually brought my calendar to assist me in this podcast. It is so crazy. So I'm always under this illusion that summer, I'm like, oh, if we can just get to summer, it'll slow down. And it's just such a fantasy.
Baloney.
It does not slow down at all. And so, we have like summer soccer. So we have a couple sports. We have summer soccer. One of the really nice things for us is that dance ends. I never thought I'd ever say this in a million years. We're a dance family. So we've got 2 dancers. I was not born to be a dance mom. I will just throw that out there. I was such a tomboy, like basically my entire childhood. So here I am, a dance mom. And it's really intense. We spend a lot of hours in the dance studio. So summer, we do have a couple intensives that my older girl has to go to, but they don't start until mid-July. So it does feel really good right now because we have no dance, which is amazing. And we also don't have co-op. And I love co-op. So we don't have a venture school near us, unfortunately. So we don't have that, but we have classical conversations. And I love classical conversations. If you've heard us talk at all about it or me talk about it, you know that I love it. But it's also it's exhausting at the same time, right? Like it's the work, it's the attending, it's all of it. It's just draining. I'm always ready by the time school starts again, but it's kind of nice to have that done. We're not packing lunches to go anywhere or anything like that. And then our really structured full days of school are done. And so that's really nice. But we filled our days with summer soccer, a couple dance intensives, and then we do some summer camps. So our kids do a camp through church. And then we do a couple, we have a son that does a really cool, what is it called? It's like performing arts camp. So that's really cool. We do some plays. And then we don't normally have a lot of birthdays happening, but we did just do a half birthday party for my daughter because she's a winter birthday. And we were so sick for like 2 or 3 months during her birthday season. And so we canceled her party 3 times for illness. And finally I was like, we're doing a summer half birthday. We'll circle back with everyone. So we just did a half birthday party for my December baby.
That's funny because on Saturday I was super confused because I was like, I don't remember it being any of your kids' birthdays when you told me you were having a birthday party on Saturday. That makes more sense.
Yes. Yep. I wondered if that had cycled through.
Yeah, I did. I was super confused. And then I just thought, nope, I'm just probably remembering wrong.
And then we have a couple girls who are at horse camp right now, which is really fun. And then my kids who are working ages, so they start working around 16 or 17, are pretty much gone all summer, right? Because they don't have school, they don't have a ton of things going on. My son's in baseball though, in league, we call it league ball. It's just not school. And so we've got that going on. So that keeps us, pretty busy. And then we take a little break from school so my kids can just breathe, and reset. But we still do some mathnasium over the summer. Especially like my older son, we're preparing for ACTs. So he's just getting extra ACT specific type tutoring to be in preparation for that test. And then we have a daughter who just loves mathnasium, and she almost cried over taking the summer off. So we told her she could start again in July, but I wanted her to have a little break. And so some of the other things that we're doing for school though this summer, we are going to be doing I have totally failed a couple of my kids in cursive writing. I'm just going to throw it out there. So we are doing some cursive writing. And I have always found that they make the transition from like not very nice handwriting to nice handwriting once you teach cursive, because they kind of opens their eyes to it being an art. And so we're going to do that with a little bit of calligraphy stuff as well, just as more like hobby, not school. We will do some math as well. And it's mostly, I mean, for one kid, like I said, it's because she loves it. And for my other kids, it's just because we probably haven't done enough math this year. And so we're just kind of, and I don't want to slow any learning or have any kind of learning loss. And so that's why we're going to do some math. But for school, we also will we ordered these really cute books. They're just like these little spiral books. And I couldn't find it. They just came in the mail. But it's a 50 book reading challenge through The Good and the Beautiful. And I really like it because it asks the kids it's a whole piece of paper like this, and then they're split into 2 sections. And then you answer each section for each book you finish. And it's like, what was the plot? We just got them, so I don't know it perfectly, but it's like, describe the setting and what was the plot, and a couple other just like little questions to ask the title, the author. And so we're doing it together. My nephew and sister are doing it as well. And then my sister and her son are doing it, and then myself and my girls. And so we're trying to read 50 books before the end of summer. And go ahead.
Are you doing 50 books like together, like between all of you, or like you're reading them 50 books, or sorry?
Individual.
Oh.
Yep. And our only rule is that you can't read the same book twice. So if they really wanted to read some little kiddo book that's too easy for them, I said, yeah, go ahead. You still have to write down the theme and the setting and the characters. You still have to do all the things. And they may end up doing that for a couple books, but I just said, you just have to feel good about the books you recorded, right? And statements like that usually get them to be like, okay, because I'm placing that trust back on them. As long as you feel good about it, then I feel good about it. But I also know that sometimes you just need a quick, fun, whimsical childhood read, and that's okay too. For sure. If my 14-year-old can get lost in, an old graphic novel book from her childhood that she loves. I'm thinking specifically of El Defo is one that she really loves, but it's way below her reading level, and she's read it many times. But if she just needs to step back into that for a couple of days, fine. I'm good with that. So
this is a lot to read over a summer.
It's a lot of books. Yeah. So I anticipate they're going to be shorter books.
Yeah.
And then they can count, like if we do a read aloud or anything like that, or if we're doing anything like that, then they can count that as well.
Are you counting audiobooks too?
That's a really good question that I hadn't thought of yet. So I don't know.
Came up with our summer program. That's why I was wondering, because I have one kiddo that if audiobooks counted, that's all he'd count.
Yeah.
So everyone decided as a family, like we all had this conversation as a family, because they know that he really likes audiobooks and that he would be done with his summer reading challenge in like 2 weeks, because that's how much he listens.
Yeah.
Is that he could count 3 circles for a week. That's total. So which is like an hour and a half worth of reading. Yes. Like if he finished a book, he can count 3 circles, but that out of the 7 can only be 3. So that he actually has to reread still.
That's good. I like that. And so I'll have to ask the girls. We just got them in the mail, so we're just going to be starting them. But I did say if it's a baby book, then they have to be reading it to the baby.
Oh, I love that.
So I kind of like that. I'm like, hey, if you each read 10 books to her, that would be well, they read to her all the time, but I said that again, you just have to feel good about it. So Yeah. So for school wise, that's pretty much all we do. We love to swim. I'm trying to make a really big effort this summer to do a planned, like really intentional activity of rotating in between kids every single day. And that has been super positive. And by planned, I just mean like it wasn't an afterthought. So I might think, hey, like the other day, my daughter and I, we went to an open house for one of her friends that are graduating. And I said, let's grab sandwiches from this great little co-op we like and go have a picnic on our way home. We pass a park. And so it was, and it was planned in that, even if it was just planned a few moments before we decided to do it, it doesn't have to be this big grand, multi-day planning thing. But it wasn't like me reflecting back on the day, like, oh, I didn't get that one-on-one time with one of the kiddos, so I'm just going to count that thing we did. So just trying to be really intentional and kind of get some of that time together when we have a little bit. I said, again, I don't want to say less things on our calendar because it does feel like more in some ways, but when our focus is just a little bit shifted, we have more flexibility. How about that? Because I do think we have more flexibility in the summer.
Yeah, that's true. So what do your kids do? So you don't really do TV, right?
We don't.
We're also. Yeah. So what do your kids do then if you're not doing school, or what are they doing during the day?
They're outside. Yep. So they're outside almost the entire. Well, okay. My 17-year-old, right? Like he's just gone. He's with his
talking about your girls. Yeah.
Working, but my girls who are very soon to be 15, 14, and 11, they're outside most of the daylight hours. Otherwise, if they're not, and what are they doing outside? They're building forts. They are riding bike, riding scooter, playing with the neighbors. We live out in the country, but we have like a little neighborhood. They're swimming. They are like we're working on a fairy house project right now. We have somebody at church who is a farmer, and we're working on this great fairy, like this big, huge fairy garden. And we wanted to put rocks around it. So I don't know if this is a thing in Arizona, but you can get really nice landscaping rocks from fields. Like they pick these rocks out of the field.
Oh, okay.
No. And usually they charge you for them.
Yeah.
And I mean, minimally so, but this farmer from our church is not charging us. And so we went and took the truck out and like drove way out in this country property, like in a field, and to this massive pile of rocks that's like the size of 2 Suburbans. Okay.
Gosh.
And so other thing I should tell you. So my oldest daughter is a budding archaeologist, and the daughter who looks just like her, Hannah, who's 11, is also a budding archaeologist, and geologist is really more Hannah's. Loves rocks, right? Like just this idea of rocks and unearthing things and so on and so forth. And my oldest daughter, even though she's an archaeologist, she also loves all these, like what the earth holds, right? And artifacts or rocks, whatever it is. And so Hannah has collected rocks ever since she was old enough to pick them up and, not put them in her mouth but into her pocket instead. And so I can't believe I'm going to admit this. So we went and we loaded up the pickup truck with these rocks ranging in size from a football to the size of like a nightstand.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. But they're beautiful. Like they're granite and they are the most beautiful rocks. And it probably took us an hour and a half to pick out all of our rocks because we were really and we took them home and we power washed them and they're beautiful, right? But we spent the whole day doing this awesome project and we're not even close to being done. We're putting in a pond and all this stuff. But anyways, Courtney, how many rocks do you think we got? Okay. Also for the viewers, we do live on several acres and have like a property. So did not bring these home to my neighborhood.
Like 100?
146.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. As Hannah's loading the rocks, she said to me, Mom, I think we're addicted to rocks too. And it was so funny because we joke that we're addicted to books in our house because we have so many books. It was the cutest thing. Mom, we're addicted to rocks too. So
oh my gosh, that's hysterical. I want a picture. We need a visual.
I took a video. I will send you a video and a picture. So super, super fun. So we're doing a lot. We do a lot of outside projects together. We also so ever since I've been trying to get a certain number of steps every day, I'm walking a ton, and I always invite my girls to go with me. And they usually come with me singly. And I don't purposely do it that way, but they just kind of alternate saying, well, I want to go with mom, or I want to go. And it's such a lovely time because we just talk and connect and all of those things. So I just love to walk with the girls too. Other things that they're doing, crafting. My girls, I shouldn't say that. 2 of the 3 of the girls love to craft. So when I was talking about the 3 girls, the oldest and the youngest both like to craft. And they are, they're just really, because we don't have TV, or we don't allow it, and we don't do video games, I feel like it's just pushed them to be really creative. And they know that if they say they're bored, guess what? Mom finds a chore for you to do. If you're bored, I have so many things I'd love for you to do around the house. My son, so it's really important to us to honor the Sabbath day, and we were home, and I don't think he'll mind me telling you the story. And he wanted to do something that we don't normally do on the Sabbath. So I just said no. And he said, so am I just supposed to sit here and rot in my room all day? This is my 17-year-old, right? Who's so busy and always on the go. And he should have saw it coming a mile away, but instantly I had a list of like 12 things. Like, hey, you know what? They were unresolved things he's supposed to finish from the school year. They were chores that he hasn't done yet. Chores that I haven't even asked him to do yet. Things to do with his siblings. So really quick, he figured out how to not be bored, because I had literally like 12 things that I suggested that we could do during this time, so he did not rot. And so that was good. But I heard that advice a long time ago. Like, if your kids are bored, it means that, you can just say, hey, go ahead.
I used to have a board jar. It was like a glass jar with popsicle, like the big fat popsicle sticks in it with stuff on it. And they had to go pick one out, and it was Russian roulette. If you didn't like it, it didn't matter. You still had to do it because you picked it, you touched it.
That's so good. The other thing that I will say, and kind of say out there, say to just a word of caution though, sometimes when a kiddo says they're bored, they need to connect, right? That's just the way that they can verbalize to you, like, hey mom, like, I just need you to see me for a minute. I need a hug. I need you to just spend 5 minutes of time with me. And so I try to differentiate to what that is. So a couple of the options that I gave my son were spending time with me. Like, do you want to go on a walk with me? And then there was this other thing that I offered him that him and I could do. And so, so I'm always aware of that too, that it might just be that they need to connect. And so, that was not the case here, but sometimes it is. But yeah, those are kinds of the things that we do. But yeah, mostly they're outside. I mean, my daughter, my 11-year-old, I'm not kidding. She looks like a different person. She's so tanned.
Yeah.
There's so many darker shades than she normally is. She already has some olivey skin, but they're just outside all the time, making up games, playing games. Oh, and then we play a lot of board games. And then they cook too. So they want to try a new recipe, or they want to try this or that. So we just made Brazilian pizza the other day with chocolate in the crust. They made homemade crust and then put chocolate in it, and it's light sauce and cheese. And I would never have thought chocolate inside of a pizza crust would be good, but it was amazing. It was the best pizza, one of the best pizzas I've ever had in my life. So my husband says it was the best pizza, but it was kind of nice. So it was really nice. And so we've now had that 3 times in the last 2 weeks. Have we had Brazilian pizza?
Oh, that's funny.
No, 3 times.
Have like pizza night, like every Thursday's pizza night. Makes it super easy. Well, Friday is our house's pizza night.
Love it. And then sometimes too, we'll do fun things like we like to thrift. My girls and I shouldn't say we, my husband does not like to thrift, but the girls and I like to thrift. So sometimes, and it doesn't have to cost money either. We'll just go and, thrift and look for something really low cost, or just browse, or we'll go to the park. So those are kind of how we keep busy on our summers. But what about you? I'm anxious to hear.
So some similars, right? And some different, right? So we do a little bit of school every day. I keep family school up pretty much year round. It's not at 8 a.m. Now it's more like some random hour that I don't have a meeting that I have time, right? Like we did it at 10:30 today, just because that was when everybody sleeps in my house. Like my kids are bigger now, so they sleep in. So I normally, my biggest pet peeve on the planet is like the kitchen open all day long, where they're like eating lunch at 3 o'clock and then we go to have dinner at 6 and nobody's hungry. And I was like, no. So here's the deal. Like the kitchen closes for 10 o'clock for breakfast, you know, like they all got up at 9:50 or whatever. It closes at 1 o'clock for lunch. And then, you know what I mean? So that we have those. I hate not having a schedule. Shocker. I know. Drives me a little bit crazy. I do love my quiet mornings though. Like I get up and I have time to like read my scriptures and I can, you know, like do some house things and you know what I mean? I do those things in the morning because I don't have that. So, but I know that's why I was thinking about it this morning and I was like, this is why I crave school to go back is because, oh my gosh, like I hate not like moving. I don't know. Anyway, so we try to keep up some semblance of family school. And again, it's just wherever it fits in, right?
Yep.
We do, they do a little bit of math and language arts every day. So a little bit of whatever it is. So a couple of my kids are finishing up like their math curriculum. They just didn't finish. So that's what they're doing. And we do some fact practice. We do something. So we don't have any, there's just no reason not to, right? Like we're in Arizona. Like we don't get to go outside like that. I want to be a snowbird every summer. Because if we go outside, we are in the pool. That's literally all you can do. You can't go explore outside. Like that's our spring, not our summer. So we do math, language arts every day and they read. And so we do a summer reading program like that I create. So I think I said a while ago that my kids have kind of outgrown like the library summer reading program. They don't really like it. They don't want it, you know, stickers and pencils and a bag of chips or whatever. So we do one and it's all mostly things that I just order with our grocery order. So like every 7 things so I planned it out the whole summer, every 7. So they have to read 7 times and they get a prize, right? And so and I gave them 1 free week. So the week of 4th of July, we're always gone. We travel to California. And so I gave them that as a free week. So that's like a bonus catch-up week. But they have, they earn a big pack of gum. They earn a drink at a soda shop, a frozen treat. So like their little Ben and Jerry's or like a box of whatever it is, their favorite treat. Some kind of candy or snack. So I have some kids that always do like health grind summer. So they want like dried fruit. They don't want, you know, like the gumdrops or whatever. A 12-pack of their own soda that nobody gets to drink, lunch out with mom or dad. And then they added, my kids choose these. And then they added a shirt. Like they get to choose a shirt from their favorite store. And the last one is, the last couple of years has been a new pair of shoes, like a school shoe. So they get like $75 to spend on a new pair of like tennis shoes.
And you have to go in order. So like you get the first one.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. They build. Okay.
Yeah. So you'll see like Rory's all the way through 3. Macy is like almost a 2. And I do it. And my kids that do not live here that are married are like, we want to do it too.
Well, of course they do. Okay, wait though. So is it you get to color in a circle every book you read or every day? Every
30 minutes you read.
Every 30 minutes you read. Okay, so can you like read for 4 hours and then fill out okay.
100%. Yeah. So you could so like Rory's the farthest. So we've only been doing this. This is week 2. So technically they should be like probably where Macy is, where she's like up through 2. Like she still has 3 left for 2. So she's even a little bit ahead. But yeah, so Grady still has like 2 left to finish 1. Because I was out of town last week. And so they were in charge of making sure they did their own reading and he did not do whatever. He got his 3 audiobook ones and then hasn't gotten his things. So that's kind of one of our biggest things. Like we really are intentional about reading. And the big kids normally slam through theirs faster because they'll like, you know, sit by the pool and read for 2 hours at a time.
Sure.
And I'm doing one this year. I didn't do it last year, but I was like, I'm going to do one. And I only count mine when I'm intentionally sit down for a 30-minute period. So like all those little 10-minute pockets when I read, I don't count those. But like when I was on a plane that didn't have internet and there was nothing else to do, I read for 2 hours. I counted 4 circles for that. So does that make sense?
Do you get prizes?
Oh yeah, heck yeah. I got my pack of gum already and I just earned my drink.
I like it.
I want a new pair of shoes. Why not?
I do too. And a new shirt.
So that's kind of how our morning. So our morning gets up, the kids, you know, have breakfast, they do their chores, they'll do their language arts, their math and reading. Like they can't do anything else. Like they can't do friends, they can't go anywhere, things like that until those things are done. And then afternoon we swim, we do friends. My son, we don't do dance, hallelujah. Like that's one thing we do. We don't do co-op, but my kids like Macy's gymnastics, tumbling, and Grady's parkour and skateboarding go year round. So we're still every single night. I know. But also, I'm like, it's kind of like this catch-22. I'm like, it would be nice to have the break, but also, like, why not have them out being physical active, right? Because we can't do that outside, so why not, right? Grady has, so he's in like this academy parkour, which means he can go to the Kids That Rip facility, the KTR facility, anytime for free. So it opens every day at noon. It's open from like noon to 6.
And do you have to stay, or
you
just drop off?
Yeah. And Macy gets, anytime she misses tumbling or whatever, she gets a free one, but then it's $20 to go for the day if she wants to just go. So anytime they want to do that. So like I take him almost every single day when he's done all of his stuff at like 1 o'clock, he goes, and all of his friends go. So it's just nice to hang out. They're getting physical activity. He's not asking me to play video games. He's not. So I love it. Like, I'm just like, yeah, of course you go.
Really do it. Yes. Yeah. Especially when the only boy in the house, like just to get him out and running rough and tumble with his friends. Amazing. I would do that.
It's fun because like, so if he has class, like he has class tonight at 6, like he has to have dinner before. So I'll go and we'll sit in the car and I'll bring him dinner and we'll sit and chat while he eats his dinner and before he goes to class. So it's, it's fun. We're creating these random little memories that, I don't know. Anyway, so he does a lot of that. We do a lot of hobbies and handicrafts in the summer.
Nice.
So like last night, I was having this internal struggle. It was Sunday night. It had been a long weekend. And I was like, I just want to lay in my bed and read a book. But it was 7. It was like 8 o'clock. The kids normally go to bed 9:30. It was 8 o'clock and the kids are like, well, what should we do? And I was like, well, do you want to play a game? Like, I don't want to do anything, but they're like, well, can we just watch TV? And I was like, no, you cannot just watch TV. I was like, okay, fine, let's do something together. And so we got the perler beads out and they've broken all of my coasters, like to put your cups on the glass. I had like whatever breakable ones. They broke them all. And so I was like, hey, I saw this really cute thing on Pinterest today. Let's make some coasters out of perler beads. So we sat and we listened to our audiobook and we all made coasters. And so we're like half through. So they're all out on the table. So I was having this like internal struggle last night that like, I keep seeing all these like memes on Instagram of like having your kids a 90s summer. Well, having a 90s summer is a lot more work for moms, right? It's so much easier to just be like, sure, go do whatever. I don't really care. Like, go watch TV, go play your video games. I'm going to read my book and just check out. But like having an intentional and making these intentional things that we used to do as a kid was a lot more work on our moms than it was right?
100%.
So, anyways, but it was super fun. Like I was super glad we did it and it was great. But at the time I was like, I just want to, like, I'm done. I don't want to do anything at 8 o'clock at night. But
I totally get that all the time not all the time, but very often when my kids are bored or right. It's the worst when they're like, I mean, it's the best, but it's the worst when they're like, Mom, can we do something as a family? Can we do something together? Right. And I'm like, and it's those times when it's like the busiest day ever and it's 7 o'clock and you're like, well, maybe I was going to go to bed. Like, and I never regret like just pulling up your bootstraps, right? Yep. And let's do it. And I always have fun. Then we end up going later, but sometimes that's why you can't make decisions based on how you feel in the moment, right? Decide and be intentional at the beginning of the day that if an opportunity presents itself to do something as a family, we're going to take the opportunity. Yeah. Because if you always decide according to how you feel, I mean, news flash, but moms are exhausted at least 40% of every single day. So, it's better to just be really, really, really intentional. And then also for those of us who have kiddos who have flown the coop, sometimes I think like, or the 17-year-old boy who spends, lots of times with his very lovely girlfriend who we love and his job. What would I give for my 17-year-old son to come to me and say, hey, Mom, could we just do something together as a family? Could we play a game? I'd give almost anything, right? Have that little boy back who desperately wanted all of my attention and wanted me to do everything with him. Yeah. And that window is closing for my little girls. Like I already feel it closing for my 2 older girls. And then my little Hannah is still really in the throes of like, she just treasures her time with her mom. And sometimes you just have to remind yourselves like this is not forever. They are going to stop asking you to read them a book or to play a game with them on a regular basis. Yep. So yeah.
I love it. So anyway, so we do a lot of games also. And we do science kits. Like I have a stash of science kits that we pull out for the summer.
And that I love it. Like, and so elaborate for people who don't know what that might be.
So like a science subscription kit. So like we have Mel Science is what I have a stash of. I bought like a year's supply and then I kind of like save them for summer because they're really fun to do with like friends when they come over. And they're normally these like wow science experiments, like you know, and there's like an app that's like on my iPad that they can use that they like will walk them through all the things and it explains the science behind it and like all the steps and they can totally do it by themselves. Like I don't really have to do anything. So that part's super awesome. But really we just try to, I stick with my Friday and Saturday video games. Like that's still our rule at this house. Like it's still a summer rule. And then we watch TV, but like normally with like no one's watching it by themselves, right? Like if we're gonna have a movie or we're gonna like, you know, it's 3:00 in the afternoon, no one went anywhere today, but everyone's really tired and we went swimming, like we turn on a movie and everybody will like chill kind of a thing. When my kids were younger, we would do like you know, like the summer movie program, like at your library. Do you guys, or not the library, but it's like the movie theater. You don't have that, where it's like $7 for the summer and you get to go.
How about it? Yeah,
it's super fun. We've done it for years, but we've kind of outgrown it a little bit. And so we would normally do like a movie night at home, like Monday morning movies kind of a thing.
Yep.
But anyways, that's pretty much it for us. But we just kind of try to focus on just a little more of like the handicraft, like having time to do those things, right? Because we're not doing school all day. We don't have to go to dance. We're not shuffling as much because most of our activities are in the evening.
What do you do with all of, I have a couple questions for you. What do you do with all of those handicrafts that you guys make, right? Like, because some of them are useful, like your coasters, but I would wager to say that they aren't all that practical.
Luckily, my girls are very into like jewelry. Like they're making a lot of jewelry, like, you know, necklaces or bracelets or things like that. Grady was into keychains for a long time, you know, like those, like the lace, the plastic lace. Have you ever seen the bangles or bedoggles or I can't remember what they're called. I remember. Do you know what I'm talking about though? It's like a plastic shoelace that you like weave and it makes these like keychain things, the long ones.
Yes, you can make them into like chameleons and all different. Yes, I know.
Well, I mean, we have like dozens of those because like he was super into those. He would do it while he he'll like whittle. We do Legos. I don't know. I'm a thrower awayer. Like if it's shoved in a drawer and it's been there for a significant amount of time, it will go to file 13 when nobody's even paying any attention.
Okay. My file 13 is my husband because I cannot bear to throw things away, you guys, that my kids made, right? Because here's the way I operate, right? He makes a chameleon keychain and it's beautiful, or the paintings, that's right. Like, so this is a perfect example, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to hang that at their graduation open house. And they're in 3rd grade. Okay. It's a problem. And I just like, I make it out of this, like, I get in this place in my head. I'm like, I'm going to just like be so depressed when all my kids leave and I'm going to need all these reminders. Anyways, so I just tell my husband, take a picture of it and throw it away, but don't tell me you threw it away. So that's our arrangement. So there are some things he knows to keep, but 90% of it, you take a picture and then throw it away and don't ever tell me. Or the kids. He's also not allowed to tell the kids.
That is hysterical. No, I am totally a thrower awayer. Like I'm just like, get it out of my house. Like, please. Like, I just can't stand crap. So I do have like a stack of art and like the kids, I actually think it's behind the couch over there. They have portfolios that we made when they were little and it has all of their art stuff in it. And those are still back there for no purpose. I don't know why they're still there, but they've lived there for a very long time. And like the side of my fridge, I have like some art, like some good, like if the kids have made good artwork, like what you have on your wall. Like we have those, and some of those are on the open face bookshelves, like on the top. Like they just live there, but I'm not a saver. Shocker, I know. But just get rid of it. So that's a lot of our summer.
I know you wouldn't be a saver, so I needed to ask you. Because I've also been to your house and it's like very organized and there's not a lot of crap everywhere. Okay, so a couple more questions for you. Do you guys do any of so like we have some community ed offerings. We don't really do a lot of community ed offerings. We do like a babysitter class, but we do have library events too. Like we have a really good library and they do some really amazing things. Like our kids are going rock climbing with the library in a couple of weeks. Do you guys have any of that?
Yes, it's there, but we don't really do it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I have in the past, but I feel like it's just not my season for that right now.
Yeah, which is totally fair. So do your kids, it's so different to think about our 2 summers by comparison, right? Because in the Midwest, for sure, like there's the joke of like your kids know to come in when the street lamps go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's totally like my kids are playing outside till 10:30 at night with the neighborhood kids. And that's just not at all the culture there, right? Because of the heat.
Not in the summer.
Yeah. So why do you guys have summer? Why don't you take like spring off, or is it just too hot? I'm just asking for all the other moms out there.
Oh, I used to. When my kids were little, we would school year round, and I would take off like the entire month of December, and like spring, like we would take a month off in the spring because it was nice. Like that's when we take like our time off. But now that my kids know what everybody else does, and like we do some things with the high school, like my kids take religious classes, they're like, no, it's summer. We don't want to, like, they still fight me on a little bit of school that we do, but I'm like, there's zero reason not to. What else are you going to do all day long?
Yeah. No, it's totally fair.
So, yeah. Fair. I missed that when the kids were little.
Yeah, no, I would have the same struggle. But it's hard. Yes. If they have a lot of public schooled friends, then it would be really hard. The other thing that I forgot to mention that we do a lot is camping. Like we love to camp. And since my husband and I both work remotely, and because my kids are so self-sufficient, we do have the baby now, who we love and adore, and she's so much fun. But even she is just we're very outdoorsy, and the camper is actually, it keeps the baby even more contained. So it's almost easier to work from the camper. So we go camping a lot. We haven't been a lot yet this summer, but we intend to. So that's another thing.
I want a camper. I would love it because we used to camp, but we haven't been in a really long time. I want a bathroom. I don't want to camp, and I don't want to pee behind a tree anymore.
100%. Yes. And it's been the only bummer part. And I don't know, I think you'd probably go up north, but the air conditioners in campers are so loud.
Oh,
so that's the thing. But I will tell you something that I don't think I've told you yet. I don't think I've told you. So we'll announce it here on the podcast. But as long as everything goes to plan, which when does it ever go to plan? So, But we are going to be taking an extended RV trip in our camper starting not this August, but a year from this August. So we are doing a countdown, like to prepare.
Oh, fun. Where are you going?
All over the US.
Oh, with just your 4 kiddos then? Because Chase will be gone.
So graduate.
Yeah.
And so Maddox will come home from his mission. So wherever he goes to school is where we'll spend the first month. So like if he goes to Idaho, we will stay in Idaho. And then we will stay, but we're not going to travel like every day. We're only going to travel on weekends because we both work. And we'll stay for like a month in one place.
Interesting.
And they'll probably have better internet than we do at our house. So
there's truth to that.
Yeah. But it's so fun because for people who don't know a lot about Venture Upward, we have we're over 200 employees. They're not all, full-time or anything, and some are seasonal, but they're almost all homeschooling parents, and they're all amazing people. These are people who I would want to go and have lunch with, even if they didn't work at Venture Upward. And so it's going to be awesome. We're going to try to hit as many people, company people as well, which is great because we have friends and employees all over the country. So it'll be really great. I'm excited, and we'll see if we can make it all happen. But we've already started our countdown list of what we need to do to prepare the house and the family and all of the things so that we can leave in just over 14 months.
That's so fun. I've always wanted to do a big road trippy thing. Jeremy doesn't work remote, so we're not there yet, but I still think it would be so fun. I'd love to go back east and explore all those.
Yes.
There.
So we're going to start, we'll probably go to Idaho first. We have a daughter in Utah. So we'll kind of go around and then kind of chase the warm weather, and then go up and in the North Carolina, Washington, then maybe up to Washington, D.C., and then just cut back home.
So fun. What an adventure.
Yeah, I'm excited. So if anybody has done anything like that, drop us some comments of materials I should watch and read before we go as we prepare. But otherwise, let us know what else you're doing in the summer. Are you schooling year round? And if so, why? Are you somewhere that's really hot, or are there other reasons, learning loss? And then what other things are you doing to help manage the summer and make it lots of fun and not overwhelming?
Well, amen to that. True. All right. Thanks, everybody. And we are going to be off for the summer. We have a special episode next week That is our, it was an Ask Us Anything episode that we did for Venture Upward, where homeschool mamas just came and asked us a bunch of random questions. It was kind of fun. So that's going to be our end. We're going to take the month of July off from podcasting and come back sometime in the month of August, I think. All right. So everybody enjoy your summer.
Thank you. Bye.